What's up, everyone? I hope you're all doing really well. I just got off work about 20 minutes ago, and my boss has already called me. He let me know that I don't have to come in tomorrow, so I have the day off. So this evening I'm gonna drink a couple Yag bombs. I don't really like to shoot them like I used to when I was younger. I'm getting a little too old for that, so I just kind of sip on them. I'll probably do some reading and get a fire going here in a couple hours. We're currently using the Mr. Buddy heater, and it's staying pretty nice in here. So in this video, I plan on doing a part 2 of the reasons why we chose this lifestyle, such as living in the van or RV, the traveling lifestyle, or the tiny house shed lifestyle. You know, if you watch the videos for any amount of time, you know that we kind of try to do things a little bit differently, kind of reject society norms, you know, kind of do our own thing. We're really not part of the normie crew, you know, but I'm going to start going through some more things why we chose this lifestyle. Enjoy the video, guys. Alright, now I do a lot of pondering. I always have I've always kind of been in my own world, just kind of thinking about things. I've been a very curious kid, and I'm always kind of curious. But since I had that experience that I talked about in that other video, I've really started to peel back the layers on certain things. And since we're on the topic of pondering, I just want to kind of mention, since we've been in this tiny house, I like to, it's almost like a pastime, is that I'll stare out the windows almost. And I'll do that every day. And it's really neat to kind of see the seasons go by as you're staring out there. And I'll kind of not like get in a trance, but I'll just kind of be staring out there and seeing the cycles of the earth go by. Like now it's really chilly out, and I could just kind of see time progressing and going by faster and faster. And I feel that staring out the window sometimes, for me anyways, kind of slows things down, and you can really look into what's going on. Because I feel like, especially before this experience that I had, and a lot of people, they're just constantly going and going and going, and they constantly got stimuli going, and they don't ever really get a chance to just sit down and ponder things and you know, just really think about things. They're just always going, either that or they're looking at their phone and they're always being distracted by something, I feel. And I must admit, you know, I find myself doing it too. But then I'm conscious of being distracted, and I try to put it down. You know, I try to control that. And I'm not saying that all these things are bad, but I feel that they have completely taken over our society. And being out here in this secluded shed kind of gives me my solitude. Or when we're traveling, when we travel, we like to go to a lot of secluded places where there's not a lot of people. Now, I don't know if I said this in the last video or not, but I'm not a very social person. It's not that I don't like people, but I have a lot of trust issues. And not so much trust issues with people that I'm just meeting, like I think they're going to do something, but I feel that my ideas and my views and, you know, my beliefs in the world, the way that they're going, is so completely 180 opposite than most people that I'm going to come in contact with. And I try to humor a lot of people when I'm with them, you know, kind of chat about the things that they like to chat about. But I don't dare bring up some topics that I have on my mind, you know, because I would just be considered a freaking weirdo. You know, I do with Kristen, and occasionally if I get really frustrated in a setting and I just feel like I got to say something, then I'll say something. But usually that results in, you know, weird looks, and, you know, people have never thought about it. They don't ever want to think about it that way. So I usually tend to be reserved. I'm a pretty quiet person. Usually, I'm a pretty shy person, I guess you would say. Until I get to know you, then I really open up, and I can just let it all flow out when I feel comfortable around someone. But it takes a while to get me loosened up and to get to know me, and that's something that I need to work on. And I've kind of acknowledged that since this process has happened, that a lot of it is me that I have to just work on myself. But it has kind of hurt me in the past, like even with the vanning community. I've had several YouTubers that I've watched for quite a while and have gotten quite big now on the YouTube community. I've had Living Free come out and offer to want to get together and meet a couple years ago, and I also had Adventure Van Man try to get a hold of me. I think it was last year, and I wanted to meet him, but I just had like I said, I was reserved at meeting new people, even though I've watched him on the videos and stuff. I don't feel like I can be my complete self around strangers. I feel like I have to put on some kind of an act or act a certain way so I don't get weird looks. And it's not so much that I really care what people think. I just feel like I make a lot of people uncomfortable a lot of the time when I talk about things. Like I said, it's completely 180 from how a lot of people view things. Like even at work, I got to put on a face from the time that I go there until the time I get off. And don't get me wrong, I like everybody that I work with. They're all nice people, great people, but just some of the topics, the mundane things that they just talk about all the time, like sports. There's maybe a lot of people that like sports. I can't stand them. And it's not like, to play them, that's different. But to sit and talk about them and to sit and spend your time watching them, I used to watch sports, but now it's just like it's a complete distraction. It's completely annoying to me to be around people and they just start talking about players and the sports games. Did you see that play? Like it's a big deal. I mean, if you're right there in the action and you see it happen, yeah, okay, cool. That was a cool play. That had great talent, that athletic ability there. But I mean, there's so much more important things to think about and to talk about. Even world events that I just don't understand why people put so much time into discussing these silly things. That or pop culture or any of that stuff. I try to stay completely away from that. It's not for me at all. If you like it, that's your prerogative, and I don't judge you for it. I would rather just not have to deal with that constantly, like in your face, like even on the radio, it's just constant, in your face, programming. Everything is programming. We're constantly being programmed to think a certain way about something, to it's even getting to our speech is getting controlled, and our thoughts, how we view about a certain country or a certain world leader, or all that stuff. It's all programmed, and a lot of people, they don't go any deeper than the news that they get on TV or the newspaper. They don't ever really research anything deeper than that. They don't research history deeper than the stuff that they learned in school. The victors of war tell the history. That's pretty much how it is. They tell their side of history, what they want known. And you're free to, of course, feel a different way on that, but I challenge you, everything that you think that just try to research it a little bit more. Dive deeper. And with that, you need some kind of a meditation, I feel. You need to get away from this distraction world and kind of go inside where your intuition and the other powers that I think that all as humans are capable of having. I mean, what do they say? We only use, not even 15% of our brains? We only see this amount of the light spectrum? I mean, we can only hear a certain frequency, out of the whole frequency band? Like it's like people only live in the 5 sense reality, and that's completely BS. I mean, for example, a dog whistle, we can't hear that at all. Does that mean that's not real? The dogs could definitely hear it. So what else is in all these things? The light spectrum. We can only see a certain amount. What's in all that space that we can't see? I don't think that we see that with our five senses. I feel like we have to go inside and awaken things inside to be able to gain extra senses to perceive these things. And here I am getting weird again. I'm sure a lot of you guys are looking at me like this guy's weird, and that's fine, but I just find it, I think it's healthy to be able to discuss, other things that people aren't just always talking about. Come up with original ideas, original thoughts, just don't parrot what somebody else says, or just say something that you think that person is going to want to hear. And I know I'm probably being a hypocrite because I just said that I don't like to meet new people, but I'm just saying as a whole, I think we need to work on that. Just trying to think about more important, deeper topics. A lot of knowledge down there, especially occulted. And I think that the church and, the powers that be, like I said in the last video, occulted simply means to keep hidden. Now, when I found that out, that instantly struck curiosity into me. Like something that's purposely hidden away. Now, when I was growing up, I was a Christian and all that, and I completely believed in the religion, but after this experience, it kind of made me, think about it like, why does someone have a right to decide what is to be hidden away from the masses of the people? Who gives people the right to control knowledge and information? I think that's blasphemy to the universe. I think everybody should be privy to every single bit of knowledge and information out there. I don't think anybody has a more important right to it. That's completely BS. So I do research a lot of occulted information, a lot of occulted topics, and not just spiritually occulted stuff, but occulted history, and there's a lot of things in there that completely contradict what you learned in high school or college. There's a lot of ancient peoples that had writings that talked about certain things, that correlated with another one. Sorry, I'm probably saying the wrong word. That matched up with people across the world's description of certain things, But now, all of a sudden, in the year 2000 or the recent couple hundred years, that we're all knowing, and those people didn't know anything. All the stories that they talked about, completely bullshit, and we have all the knowledge. Our science now is the king, right? BS. Science changes all the time. I'm not a worshiper in science. it has its place, but it's not God in information to me. I believe a meditative mind, or someone like the Dalai Lama or something who has really dived deep, has more understanding of how the universe works than any scientist could. And that's just my opinion, but that's how I view it. I'm not sure how long this video has been going on. Maybe I'll have to do a part 3, but I just kind of like to do these chats every once in a while. I'm kind of loosened up now, so I can talk a little bit more freely thanks to the the Yag bombs. I have to come clean. I've been really jonesing to go on a trip really badly. I think our next one's going to be taking in Kristen's new Subaru. We're going to go out west again and stuff like that. Probably make some videos on it, but I told Kristen once our wood is gone, I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but we're going to have to head out. Hopefully it'll last until tax season so we can get our tax returns back and then head out. But anyways, I think I'm going to end this video. I hope you're all doing well, like I said, and I will talk to you later. Bye.